The silence of the night is rarely ever silent. For some, it's a faint rustle outside the window or the ticking of a clock. But for me, it was the chilling realization that someone, or something, was in the room with me. This isn't just a story about catfishing or creepy DMs. It's about the terror that grips you when virtual strangers cross the line into your physical world. Socializing after high school can be a challenge when you stay local. Unlike those who go off to party schools or prestigious universities, my social circle dwindled when I attended a commuter college. Meeting people, especially girls, became an uphill battle unless I joined clubs or sports, neither of which interested me. My main channels for meeting new people became dating apps like Tinder and Bumble, or occasionally Instagram. One mundane evening, I received a follow request on Instagram from a girl named Miranda. Her profile picture caught my attention instantly. She was gorgeous. Curious but cautious, I accepted her request and followed her back. Within moments, she slid into my DMs, and my face lit up. She told me she found me on Tinder, thought I was cute, and decided to reach out. It was flattering, especially since my Instagram handle was in my Tinder bio, making her claim plausible. As we chatted, I did my due diligence. Miranda's account seemed legitimate at first glance. She had over 4,500 followers, followed only a few hundred people, and her posts had an impressive number of likes and comments. Her photos spanned over a year, which further dispelled any immediate suspicion of a fake account. Still, something about it gnawed at me. Most of her commenters were men, many of them older and frankly creepy, leaving over-the-top compliments. One specific detail stood out. During our conversation, Miranda mentioned she was 19. However, in the comments of one of her posts, she had told someone she was 25. The inconsistency made my alarms go off, but I decided to keep talking, thinking I might be overanalyzing. One night, emboldened by our rapport, I mentioned that I had the house to myself and invited her over. It was a risky move, but I kept it casual. She responded almost immediately, saying she was just a 10-minute drive away. When I asked for confirmation, she said, "Yeah, I'll come." My excitement was tempered by unease, but I chalked it up to nerves. Then, as I mulled over her mixed signals and odd profile, I began to piece together some unsettling patterns. Miranda's account lacked any female interactions, no girlfriends tagging her in photos, no comments from women. Every single picture featured her alone, or with random, untagged people. It didn't add up. My gut screamed catfish, and I decided to block her. Almost immediately after blocking Miranda, I began receiving a barrage of threatening messages from 3 unfamiliar accounts. Each had fewer than 50 followers and profile pictures that looked generic, if not outright fake. They demanded that I unblock Miranda, becoming increasingly aggressive. I blocked those accounts as well, but dread began to settle in. My mind raced to the DM where I had foolishly sent Miranda my address. In a panic, I unsent it, grateful that I hadn't shared my phone number or any other personal details. I locked my Instagram profile, double-checked my settings, and tried to push the fear aside. Despite my best efforts, the anxiety lingered, especially as the night wore on. The house felt unnervingly quiet. I had trouble falling asleep, as I often do, and every small creak or clink of the baseboard heaters amplified my paranoia. After what felt like hours of tossing and turning, I finally drifted off, only to be jolted awake by a noise. At first, I thought it was just another sound from the heaters, but this noise was louder, distinct. It seemed to come from the living room. My heart raced, but I stayed put, convincing myself it was nothing. After all, the doors were locked. I eventually managed to fall back asleep. Sometime later, I woke up again. This time, something was different. The room felt colder, heavier. My eyes adjusted to the darkness, and that's when I saw it. A figure standing in the corner. At first, I thought my mind was playing tricks on me, but as I focused, I could make out a faint, twisted grin. Every instinct screamed at me to run, but fear rooted me to the spot. When I finally broke free from the paralysis, I bolted out of the room, down the stairs, and into the snowy yard without even stopping to grab shoes. I raced to my neighbor's house and banged on their door, frantic and barefoot. When they let me in, I could barely form coherent sentences as I explained that someone was in my house. They handed me their phone, and I called 911. When the police arrived, they conducted a thorough search of the house. They found no one. The back door was locked, as were most of the windows, except for one in the backyard that I had forgotten to secure. The officers suggested that it might have been a hallucination, a trick of the mind common when waking abruptly from sleep. Still, I couldn't shake the feeling that someone had been there. For the rest of the night, I stayed at my neighbor's house, too terrified to go back. Over the next few days, I scoured Miranda's profile for clues, but found nothing new. A few months later, her account disappeared entirely, either deleted or removed by Instagram. I never heard from those other accounts again. To this day, I'm left wondering, was it all just an elaborate hoax? Did my fear conjure a hallucination in the corner of my room? Or did the catfish who pretended to be Miranda truly cross the boundary between the digital and physical worlds? I'll never know for sure, but the memory of that grinning face haunts me still. The internet offers an illusion of connection, but also harbors dangers that can escalate beyond imagination. What started as a casual online conversation turned into one of the most harrowing nights of my life, whether it was paranoia, coincidence, or something far darker. The experience taught me to trust my instincts and guard my personal information fiercely. In a world where screens blur the lines between safety and vulnerability, it's always better to be cautious than sorry. I hope you liked this story. Please let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, then subscribe to the channel because you will get to see similar videos on this channel. I'll see you again in a more scarier story.